I am almost embarrassed to know this, but I'm not a terribly religious person. The 12 days of Christmas. I never knew they started on Christmas Day. And they go till January 9th for the Epiphany, over when the wise men had their revelation of... Now, metaphysically, the wise men having their revelation means to the divine idea, a divine light, an identification with the light. And that's really what that means. And with the Christ awakened in us, that's what that means as well, is a divine revelation. We see the light. It's not about seeing a baby. It's about seeing the light. And so there's 9 days. But we're going to do all 12 days this morning. And then if you want, you can go back and watch the video on Facebook, or write to me and I'll send you what I'm reading here. And you can practice the 12 days of Christmas yourself, although we're 2 days past it, so you're going to have to do 2 of them fast. But I came across this in a Unity reading, how to combine the 12 days of Christmas with the 12 powers, the 12 divine mind faculties within the intelligence system of our body. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to light our candles with each reading. And then I'm going to take us through to do our 12-power meditation today. So I invite you to relax in wherever you're sitting, and let's have fun. So I take my little white candle and I light it from the Christ candle. And the first candle I'm going to light of the 12 power candles today is the deep blue one in the front, and it is the power of faith. And so, the first day of Christmas, faith. For truly I tell you, if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you will say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move, and nothing will be impossible for you. And that's Matthew 17:20. On this first day of Christmas, my mind turns to faith and trust. I trust in God's perfection. I have faith that my life will be one of peace and happiness as I put Spirit first in all things. Trusting that God's will for me is good, I let go and let Spirit guide me to my highest good. In faith, I start a new life. I make new decisions, and I establish new goals. In faith, I step out and do the things that I feel I need to do. In faith, I expect miracles as I abide by God's perfect laws. I stand firm in my faith in God and in God's goodness for me. And then we go to the second power, the silver candle, and it is the power of will. Don't worry about the dripping. That's why I have a vinyl tablecloth there. So, the second power. Its disciple is Thomas. It's behind the left eye. And the second day of Christmas, will. For it is God at work in you, enabling you both to will and to work in good pleasure. And that's Philippians 2:13. God's will for me is always good. There are times when I am tempted to follow my own path. I may forget that God's will is always for the best. On this, the second day of Christmas, I set an intention to do the will of God, to be happy, joyous, and free. I look forward to each new day of the coming year with the knowledge that God's will for me is good. I place all my concerns and my dreams in God's loving care. I release any thought of lack or limitation, knowing that God's good will for me is to achieve the good desires of my heart. I consecrate and dedicate myself to the will of God, and I listen to the voice of Spirit. Keep breathing. So we light our third candle, and it is the gold candle, and it is the power of understanding. Go. Disciple is Thomas, and it's behind the right eye. The third day of Christmas, understanding. The Lord appeared to Solomon in a dream by night, and God said, "Ask what I should give you." And Solomon said, "Give your servant, therefore, an understanding mind." That's 1 Kings 3, 5, 6, and 9. The Christ within me understands that which I, in limited thinking, can never understand. The Christ within me sees past hostility. It sees past fear or anger. It sees past what appears unjust. The Christ within me knows that there is absolute justice, knows that God's law of order is always at work. Today I will see with the eyes of the Christ. I will go about my day with clarity of mind and peace in my soul. I have the power of understanding to guide me and to assure me that all is well in my world. The Christ within me knows beyond reason, sees beyond doubt or fear to the good in every situation. I use the power of understanding, and my world is filled with peace and faith. Now the fourth candle, it's the power of imagination. Its color is light blue. Its disciple is Bartholomew. The fourth day of Christmas, imagination. In spirit, all things in heaven and on earth were created, things visible and invisible. I'm going to read that again. In spirit, all things in heaven and on earth were created, things visible and invisible. And that comes from Colossians 1:16. The power of imagination is a wonderful tool. When I use my imagination wisely, I am able to see good where no apparent good may be visible. On this fourth day of Christmas, I call upon my power of imagination. I see possibilities of good everywhere I look. I form images of myself doing the things I have longed to do. I see myself as the person I want to be. Through the power of imagination, I can bring the good I envision into my reality. I look for and expect a blessing for myself and my life, even when I'm facing a challenge. I see good in all people, and I imagine the world as a place of abundance, wholeness, and peace. With gratitude, I use the power of imagination to live an abundant life. So next is the orange candle, and it's the power of zeal. And its disciple is Simon, and it sits in the back of the neck here. The fifth day of Christmas, zeal. Do not lag in zeal, be ardent in spirit, Romans 12:11. There's a divine energy radiating through me today, and I give thanks for it. This energy flows through me and helps me accomplish all that is mine to do. I express zeal and enthusiasm as I greet my fellow beings, as I take on new tasks, and as I pray. With an energized spirit, I am positive and cheerful. I can make even the most mundane chore into an activity that is exciting and adventurous. The power of zeal opens the way to wondrous blessings, for it is the pure activity of spirit at work. I approach each day with zeal and enthusiasm, and my life is filled with blessings. Our sixth power is the power of power. It sits in the throat, and its disciple is Philip. And it is the purple candle. It's over here. And let's light it. There we go. Very powerful. The sixth day of Christmas, power. May you be made strong with all the strength that comes from God's glorious power. Colossians 1:11. As a child of God, I am united with the divine source of unlimited power that I can use to fulfill my deepest dreams. With this marvelous God-given power, I can accomplish great things. How wonderful it is to know that I can live a life without limitation. Each day as I turn to Spirit, I more fully awaken to the infinite source of power within. As I give expression to this power, I positively affect my life and the lives of those around me. By channeling this divine power into loving and compassionate action, I can help inspire and uplift the world. I am open to the full expression of God's power within me. Nice. Now the seventh power, it's the pink candle here, and it's the power of love. And its disciple is John, and it sits behind the heart. Come on. Let love be awakened in me now. There we go. Beloved, let us love one another. 1 John 4:7. On this seventh day of Christmas, I feel the power of divine love within. I feel my own sense of worth. I am a child of God and very special. I treat myself with love and gentleness, for I am nurturing the Christ within. I am truly a temple of the living God. As I look at my friends and family and at the people I meet each day, I think of them as temples of God. Even though they may not be aware of this truth. Let me repeat that. As I look at my friends and family and at the people I meet each day, I look at them as temples of the living God. Even though they may not be aware of this truth, they too are expressions of God, expressions of divine love. Love is the power that awakens my spiritual nature. Love is the food of spirit that is so necessary to the growing awareness of the Christ within. Today, I express the love of the Christ within me. Now, our eighth power here, it works with love. It's the yellow candle. It's the power of wisdom. And its disciple is James, and it sits in the solar plexus. The eighth day of Christmas, wisdom. Teach me wisdom in my secret heart. That's Psalm 51:6. Today I look to God for the gift of discernment. I know that with God's guidance I can distinguish what is good and true in each situation. With the gift of discernment comes spiritual insight. As I become more attuned to this insight, I discern when I should speak and when I should remain silent. I am guided to the right action in every situation I encounter, with my intention to listen for guidance, to discern what is mine to do, and to use good judgment. I know that I will be a blessing, and I will attract wonderful blessings into my life. I gratefully use my gift of discernment to know what is mine to do. Here we are at 9. It's the power of order. It's the deep green candle here. And its disciple is James, the other James. And the 9th day of Christmas, order. For everything there is a season and a time for every matter under heaven. Oh, I didn't light it. Doesn't work if you don't light it. For everything there is a season and a time for every matter. Ecclesiastes 3:1. Divine order is the first law of the universe. Though I may not always see it, divine order exists at all times in my life and in the world. Today I take time to contemplate this unfailing law of God and to keep it uppermost in mind as I put my life in perspective. Trusting in divine order, I know that the events in my life are taking place in the right ways at the right time. I exercise patience as I anticipate the blessing that is coming to me now. I begin this new year confident that God is in charge and all is well. I center myself in the presence of God, knowing that I can meet each day with peace of mind, strength of spirit, and faith of heart. I am one with divine order, and I recognize order in every circumstance. 10. The light green candle, it's the power of strength. Its disciple is Andrew, and it sits in the lower back. Order is in the navel, if I didn't say it before. And strength, its power starts in the lower back. The 10th day of Christmas, strength. God is the strength of my heart. Psalm 73:26. I feel the strength of spirit within me, and I rejoice. I know that I am able to stand firm for all that is good and true. Though circumstances around me may cause my world to tremble at times, I feel safe and secure in my haven of peace. God within me, the strength of my heart. God is my source of help at all times. I am strong because God sustains and supports me at all times. I give thanks, knowing that no thing can disturb me or cause me to waver as I keep myself in the presence of God. I am centered in the power and presence of God within, and each day I grow stronger. Our 11th power is the power of renunciation or elimination. Its disciple is Thaddeus, and it's a russet candle. The 11th day of Christmas elimination. You will know the truth, and the truth will make you free. John 8:32. This new year, I will make a point of releasing negativity from my life. I let go of anything that would keep me from expressing my true spiritual nature. Just as weeds can choke out a tender seedling, negative thoughts, words, and feelings can keep me from expressing the Christ Spirit within. From this time on, I will nourish the divine spirit within me. I will gladly release the false, the selfish, and the negative. I will make every effort to keep my thoughts positive and constructive. I am a child of God, created in love as an expression of goodness. I gratefully accept joy and goodness into my life today. I release old habits and ways of thinking and joyously accept my good. Now we have one more. It's the 12th faculty. It is life. Its candle is red. Its disciple is Judas. The 12th day of Christmas, life. The Spirit gives life. 2 Corinthians 3:6. On this, the 12th day of Christmas, I am in awe of the power of life within me. Each day of this new year, I will think about the true source of the life force that flows through me. God is the source of life. And this life renews me, cell by cell. The spiritual energy that I have from this unfailing source within is my true strength. It is what gives me purpose and meaning. It leads me to freedom and happiness, knowledge and growth. I give thanks for life, good, free, joyous, growing, and eternal. So those are our 12 powers. 12 seats of intelligence within our body. So now I'm going to take a seat here, and I'm going to lead us in what I have established as a 12-power meditation. And what I invite you to do today, if you so choose, is to focus on the candlelight. Make this an open-eye meditation if you can. And so as you look at your screen, choose any one of the candles. I invite you to think as little about them as possible, but to just observe the light. To let the light be alive in you now. If you want to go from around the candle, because I will mention the color and what have you, but I'm going to go within. I'm going to sit on a chair over here, so I won't be on the camera, but the light will. Let's go within. Start to take a breath, people. Take a breath. And send that breath up to the highest part of your being. And up at the top, we know it's where the highest part resides. I call it the Christ within me. And I like to start my meditation by affirming the Christ in me is awake now. If you want to look at the white candle in the center and see that little light and say, the Christ in me is awake now. Those of you who care to, just know it with me. The Christ in me is awake now. Breathe in and through and let that light expand in your mind, in your brain. Because in your brain, it's where we're going to start with the first of the 5 divine mind faculties. The first of the 12 powers. And the first one is faith. That blue candle there in the front. And the faith sits in the center of the brain. The pineal gland. And faith is our yes power. Faith is what I'm saying yes to right now. Faith in me says yes to my good. Let us be glad to say that today. And next to faith there, it's right behind the left eye. This silver candle represents it. And it's the power of will. And I seek to align my will with my faith. So that what I have said yes to is what I am willing to experience. So I say yes to the experience of forgiveness. I say yes to the experience of freedom. I say yes to the experience of knowing I am loved with an everlasting love. I say yes to knowing you are loved with an everlasting love. And my will is on board with it. I am willing to know this in every cell of my body. And we go over to the gold candle or the right eye. For just behind the right eye is the third power. And it's the power of understanding. So as my faith has said yes, and I am willing, through my understanding, I see a path. I see a path of understanding. Because I am so willing. And will calls on the power of understanding to bring it about into my experience. And so for my understanding, I go to right in between the eyes, the fourth eye. It's the light blue candle there. And it is the power of imagination. Remember, imagination is what sees opportunities where I used to see obstacles. Imagination transforms obstacles into opportunities. Opportunities for gratitude, opportunities for ease. I have said yes, and now the rest of me is getting on board. To go over to the orange candle there, or the base of the brain back here, and it's our fifth power. It is the power of zeal. And zeal is what lets me be excited to be me. Because I am a God being. I am a God being me. I give thanks for this zeal and enthusiasm. It is good to be me today, and I am willing to know it is good for you to be good, it is good for you to be you today. Zeal awakened in us now. Our brain is alive with the first 5 powers. Now I invite you to let the light from the Christ mind flow through your forehead, flow through your eyes and your vision, healing the vision. Let it flow through your ears and your hearing, that we may see as God sees. We may hear in truth. Let the light flow through your nose and your breathing, cleansing, purifying, finally flowing into your mouth and all the way through into your throat. Because here in the throat, we're going to wake up the 6th divine mind faculty. It's that purple candle there. But it is the power of power. We're going to let our words be cleansed and purified so that they may speak with divine understanding. That our words may be accurate to what we are thinking. That our words may express the desire of the heart in order to call forth what it is we actually want. We will not speak with doubt. We will speak with assurance that it is okay to want what we want, whether it is this one or that one who shall support us in manifesting it, but we are safe to accurately speak of what we want. Let the light of the Christ mind, flow into your lungs to cleanse and to purify, to take away from the lungs any blockages. We will release them later, all those blockages. We will release them, but right now we shall purify the lungs, scrubbing them, so that the Christ is awake in our lungs. Now go behind the heart. And let's wake up the 7th power. It's the pink candle there. And it's the power of love. Love is awakened in me now. Love is clarifying for me what love actually is, so that I wouldn't make up a story about love. Love tells all of us what it is in a way that we can understand it, in a way that we can use it practically. Now let the light go down from there into your solar plexus to the 8th power, the yellow candle there. And the 8th power is the power of wisdom. And love and wisdom work together. And they create a function called discernment. So love and wisdom working together enable us to discern the next right thing, the next good thing, so that we wouldn't need to judge things in an egoic way. With love and wisdom working together, we have flexibility. We have kindness, we have empathy, and we are able to see because we can discern our circumstances, the information we receive. Now let the light come down and cleanse and purify your whole internal body, that all the organs are made clean, that the old unnecessary thoughts are pulled away, scrubbed away. Again, we shall release these in a moment, just as we're going to release all we pulled away from the lungs, all the misinformation, all that we have been holding on to that isn't true. We're being cleansed of that within our organs, so that as we come down to our navel, our 9th power, the power of order. It's the deep green candle back here. The power of order. And we realize everything starts with order. A thought leads to a word, leads to an action. There is always a perfect order in the universe. Where we want to guide our order is that we have true thoughts that lead to true words, that lead to true actions. Now let the light of the Christ, come around to the small of your back. And we wake up the 10th divine mind faculty. It's this light green candle. But it is the power of strength. And one of the greatest attributes of strength is it enables our ability to be still. It enables our ability to be quiet. I invite you to let this power of strength flow up through your spine, healing any back stuff. Let your back be strengthened. Let it flow up and out through your shoulders so that you may be healed. You may be agile. Let the light of strength flow down through your arms. Let strength carry the light of the Christ mind within you out through your fingertips, that all that you touch may send light of love, of what you have said yes to in your faith. Peace, joy, intelligence, presence, power. Let your hands vibrate with this strength. Let your consciousness go back up through your arms and come back down your back and come all the way down into the hindquarters, where we wake up the 11th power, the power of renunciation or elimination. It is through this faculty we now send away all the old thoughts that we have removed from our organs, from our lungs. Through renunciation, through elimination, we release from our mind and our body all thinking, all thoughts that no longer serve our highest good. And then come around to the front, to the regenerative organs, the genital area, and let's wake up the 12th divine mind faculty, that red candle there, and it's the power of life. I choose life, and I choose it more abundantly. Take on that thought. Today I choose life, and I choose it more abundantly. Now let the light go down through your legs, anointing, strengthening. Let it flow through your knees. So now your hips and your knees are more agile. They are healed. Let it flow through your calves and your shins. Let it flow through your ankles and into your feet, so that your whole body is filled with this light of the Christ. The healing light of the Christ, the Son of God, in each of us now. That health be our natural state. That well-being be our natural state. That we are filled head to toe with the awareness of the Christ awakened in us now. Now I invite each of us to invite anyone they want into our prayer circle. Our circle of light, our circle of awakening. Call them forth. Bring them into your home, your workplace, wherever you are meditating from. We will bring them into the church here, the few of us that are here. Call them aloud or silently, but call them so that you may share in this light, that you may celebrate in this light. Extend your hand and watch the light extend from your hand into their very being, so that you can't even discern the personality any longer. You just know you love this being or these beings. And now there's one more, though, to invite into our prayer time, our prayer circle. It's the one we forgot to invite. It's the one we have not yet experienced forgiveness for or with. We must include this one because there are no beings out of the love of God. All beings are included in the love of God. Therefore, they must be included in the love that I am. For this moment, we will place principles before personalities. And we will call this one forth. Namaste, the Christ in me beholds the Christ in you. And I invite you to join this circle of love and intelligence. And I am now willing to let the cloak of darkness fall from you. I am willing to witness you as a God being rather than anything else that I have witnessed you as. I insist that I see you beyond your personality, beyond any flaws that I have judged you for, so that I may see myself beyond any flaws that I have judged myself for. And I invite you to let the cloak of darkness fall all the way and let it flow off into the nothingness, so that now I see you as a pure, radiating being of light. A pure, radiating being of light. And I know you as this one being represent several beings for so many of us. But I invite you to join this circle so that I could not discern the difference between you and anyone else in it. And I join the circle so that I cannot see the difference between myself and anyone else in it. We are light beings, beings of light. We are what God is. And we're going to move forward knowing that. And so, we have completed our meditation. We have claimed a healing in our mind and our body. We have experienced a great sharing and a great forgiveness. Let us know we are light, and light is good. And so it is. Amen.